All right, everybody, welcome back to D Rich Spirits. We are here to pick out one of the top cigar whiskeys that I have, right? That I have access to. So I have my top five whiskeys, starting with five on all the way up to one. That is one thing you need to know about cigar whiskeys. Uh, I'm a huge cigar guy, right? 20 years I've been a cigar guy. There are a lot of people, a lot of whiskeys that are made for two reasons. Don't get fooled. One reason, the original cigar cask whiskeys, goes back to scotches. Those were not to really pair with a cigar, but to give you the influence of a cigar taste. So when you sip it, like cognac barrels and things of that nature can pull out that tobacco leaf, that good cigar flavor. And that's what gives you that good cigar feel, taste. So that has been confused with what pairs well with a cigar. In today's world, a lot of people are smoking cigars and they're grabbing the wrong cigar whiskeys, or you can't grab the wrong whiskey. It's whatever you like. But in my eyes, I know which whiskeys are made to pair with cigar, which whiskeys are made to just give you a cigar influence, right? You want that experience of a cigar. They're going to finish it and put the right taste buds together so that you have that taste of a cigar, right? So this is my top five cigars, and as we go through them, I'll let you know which one is which. Starting at number five. This is a local favorite for me, right? This is kind of hard that this is five. It's personal for me. But I just couldn't get past it. We're going to go with the local High Bank Distillery, the Whiskey War cigar cask. So it was highly anticipated when they said this was dropping. I was really ready for it, and I had no idea what it was, how it was made, how it was finished, or anything like that. This has been finished in Brazilian, let me pronounce this right, Amburana barrels, right? So I had to look up what is an Amburana barrel and why does it make the whiskey taste like this. The Amburana is a Brazilian oak, right? It's used for essential oils and things like that. It's real fragrant. And that is exactly what I get when I open this bottle. It is extremely fragrant. The fragrance is it's almost a perfume whiskey, right? And that is for me. For you, it may be different. I did have a good experience with it before. It took me a few sips, and once I got into it, I started picking up the tobacco leaf, and I said, okay, this was made to give somebody a cigar experience, right? I could taste what they were trying to do. They kind of maybe finished it too long in that barrel. And I could see where they were going with it. But this was made not to pair with a cigar because it's very perfumey, very over the top. And the flavor profile is kind of the same as the nose. I think this was to give you that cigar experience. So at number five, Whiskey Wood, the cigar cask. So we move to number four. Number four is another one. This very perfuming. But it's going somewhere, right? It's going somewhere. We move up to the RY3, right? So the RY3 is a rye whiskey. It's finished in three different barrels, which already tells you it's a lot going on. So the three different barrels are Madeira cask. I'm cool with that. Rum cask. Cool with that. Naranja cask. Thank God for Google. So I had to look it up. What is a Naranja cask? So a Naranja cask, it carries like an orange liqueur. So anything liqueur, it's going to be very concentrated, very thick, very sweet. And that right there, it does come out in the whiskey. Besides that, it's not a bad whiskey at all. It's actually a pretty good whiskey. To pair with a cigar, I think they meant for this to pair with a cigar, a nice finished whiskey to balance out the strong tobacco. But I think if they just would have left out that orange liqueur and Naranja cask, they would have been on to something. RY3 rye whiskey, that is my number four. Set that right there. Number three. Number three is very intriguing. It is one of the most interesting bottles I've had. And that's in general. It is very interesting, and the story behind it is amazing. We're going to go with Buzzards Roost Cigar Rye. It's another rye whiskey. But this whiskey really isn't finished. This whiskey is lightly charred, and then they put in Kentucky cigar leaves into the lightly charred while it was still, you know, flaming. They put them in, close it up, and let it just smoke, a natural cigar leaf smoke. And the flavor profile is all over that. So this is definitely one that you buy if you want to, if you're not a smoker, but you want the cigar experience. You like how grandpa's cigar used to smell and you want a good whiskey to bring back memories. And I get that. This is the one. It is very interesting. And that's what's in my glass right here. It is a rye whiskey that is very good, very well made. And I've never heard of a finish like that, right? It's pretty cool. So that's Buzzard Roost Rye Whiskey. At number 2, we're going to go Old Elk Island Cut, right? So we want the Island Cut. So they have like, I think 3 of them out. I have the first one, and this one, the Island Cut, I really liked. I really enjoy the Island Cut. The Island Cut is a whiskey made to pair with your cigar. It's a lot going on. You have finish in pork barrels. I'm gonna butcher this. Sartains, whatever. Sherry and rum barrels, right? So it's a lot going on, but believe it or not, it works. Old Elk found a way to make it work. There's a lot of finishing going on, and it's very interesting. It's very full body, which helps you pair with a good cigar, good full body cigar. It'll balance it well, and it'll give you a lot of flavor profile in the whiskey that is pretty much made to go up against a full body cigar and keep your smoking experience interesting. That's the Old Elk Island Cut. Now, we look for number 1. My number 1 cigar whiskey. This whiskey is made to drink by itself. This whiskey is made to pair with the finest and finest of cigars. This is, now, it's not always like that. It's the batch. This batch, they vary from different to different, but this batch 333, Joseph Magnus cigar blend. I am a fan. I've had some not so happy batches as of recent that wouldn't even make this list of expensive Joseph Magnus. I do put my stamp on batch 333. If you can get that batch, it is incredible. The cigar blend Joseph Magnus, it is finished Armagnac, cognac, and sherry cask. That is a perfect cigar whiskey, right? I myself, if I have to get a finished whiskey to pair with a cigar, sherry cask or cognac cask, right? Those are good whiskeys to pair with a cigar. It pairs very well. This one has all 3, and they did a hell of a job blending it. Batch 333, it came through on fire. I am very happy with my purchase, and this is number 1 without a question of what is the best whiskey to pair with your cigar, and my top cigar whiskey. Hit the subscribe button. Like it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite whiskey that you pair with your cigar, right? All right. But until next time, it's your man D Rich, and I'm going to finish sipping this Buzzard Rouge and light up a cigar. Later, guys.